today is the third, I think, third India Cloud Security Summit. And I think I'm presenting in this summit for the third time. So I'm very excited to present the new stuff which is coming into Intune. So before getting into that, let's introduce the summit to you. And we have some amazing um, sponsors, as you can see over here, and then you have option to win some exciting prizes, so don't miss those opportunities. And then let's get into some of the introduction part, right? So my name is Anub, and I'm a Microsoft MVP from, I think, 2015. I'm based out of Kerala now, and I'm working on several technologies normally. It started with SCM and then moved to Intune, looking into Windows 365 Cloud PC and AVD, Azure Virtual Desktops scenarios. But by heart, I am always device management admin or engineer, I would say. So let's get started with today's agenda. So today we are going to cover the latest security enhancements with Intune, what Microsoft is coming up with in future. That is what we are going to mainly cover in this session. So are you all excited? Probably yes. Okay. So Microsoft Intune. If you don't know what is Microsoft Intune or Microsoft UEM, UEM is nothing but Unified Endpoint Management. So it is an industry standard. If you see Gartner's research papers, you would see a lot of vendors with UEM capabilities or offering UEM products such as VMware, and then Soho is there, Manage Engine is there, and then Microsoft is there. So over here, we are going to concentrate on Microsoft Intune. And that is the UEM product we are going to concentrate. And Microsoft Intune is a cloud solution, SaaS solution, as you already know. And then we have a lot of capabilities with Microsoft Intune, as you can see in the slide over here. Right? We can manage Windows devices, and within Windows, we can manage Windows in the cloud, such as Azure Virtual Desktop, Cloud PC, and then we have ability, Intune has ability to manage a lot of devices, such as a lot of platforms such as iOS devices, iPad OS devices, Mac OS, Linux, and there are some capabilities to manage Chrome OS as well. Okay. Okay, let's get into the meat of the presentation probably. Let's get started. So when I presented first time in this conference 2 years back or something, I think we were covering all these stuff, right? We were we were covering how to implement the security policies, cloud policies, or cloud security policies, how to why you want to move away from group policies, on-prem group policies, and why you want to invest more time on cloud policies. That is what we have covered in the initial years of this conference. Now we moved away from that. We are moving ahead. Fast forward to 2023, and beyond 2023, we are going to cover a lot of stuffs like security copilot. What is security copilot? What is how Intune admins can get help from security copilot? And it is all about generative AI and how we can, I don't know, automate the things with the help of generative AI and plugins, etc., etc. So that is what we are going to cover. This is the latest news coming from Microsoft. So we don't have lot of real demos. I mean, real demos are there, but what I mean to say is there are demos which we have taken from Microsoft, right? We don't have the all these things enabled on our tenant. So the all the demos showed in this session is taken from Microsoft, and so I'm giving credit to Microsoft for sharing all these demos with us, and so that we can understand what is coming and what is the um, time ahead of us, right? How exciting is it? Okay, so let's go ahead to the next slide. It is all about Security Copilot. So, Security Copilot is basically connected to all these security products, as you can see over here: Defender, Sentinel, Entra is Azuredi, Intune, Piva, and Purview. So, all these are connected, and Security Copilot is taking all the data from all these products, and it is making very useful for each of the security admins using these products. Okay, and this is the quick data flow and architecture of in security pilot plus Intune, right? So how Intune is coming into picture, etc., we will quickly see in this particular slide. So over here you would be able to see one box over here. That is the box where admins will get give prompt to security copilot, right? So over here you would be able to see the steps. The first one is, if I'm an Intune admin, we are going to concentrate on Intune today, right? So I am an Intune admin and I am going to prompt something. When I say prompt is typing something, chatting with Copilot, right? If you have you might have seen the normal Windows Copilot, right? You can chat in the Windows Copilot, and that will give you um, options, answers, steps, buttons to enable things, etc. Right? Similarly, that is the same way how the Security Copilot is going to work with Intune admins. Okay, so Intune admin will prompt something, and then that prompt will be sent to Security Copilot, and Security Copilot will have connections or plugins for each product. So these are the plugins, as you can see over here in this box. Over here Intune is there, so we are going to concentrate on Intune, and Intune plugin will analyze that prompt, and then as you can see over here, uh, it will do the pre-processing and then send it back to Copilot, Security Copilot, and Security Copilot will send it back to send this to LLM. And that is where all the intelligent stuff is going to happen. And then LLM will send the reply back to Security Copilot, and then Security Copilot again will contact the plugin, and security I mean the plugin will post process. Why? What do you mean by post process? Post process is, maybe there could be some data which is not recommended for the users, because LLM might not have that control or knowledge to understand which is the scope of that particular user or admin. So the plugin will post process that and analyze the security scopes and security permissions, etc., for that particular admin. And depending on that, the plugin will send the reply back to Copilot, and Copilot will uh, give represent the display in the Security Copilot window, I would say, okay, or page. We will see that in the demo, so hold on to that. So that is the high level data flow architecture view of Security Copilot. Hopefully I'm going pretty fast because we have very less time, right? So if you have any questions, please write it down or put it in the chat. We will discuss about that during the Q&A session. Okay, so what is the advantage of Security Copilot in Intune context? That is what we are going to cover in this slide. So first point, as you can see over here, it is going to enhance the capability to react to the threats or detect the threats very fast. So that is the first advantage of Security Copilot with Intune. So as you can see, swiftly respond to threats, incidents, vulnerabilities. That is going to be the first pillar of Security Copilot. Okay, so this is, we are talking about the initial version of Security Copilot. Security Copilot with Intune is going to evolve in these years, in coming years, and this will be getting much more better in coming years. This is the version one, I would say. Okay, so that is the first thing. And then if you look at this, you if you are familiar with Entra conditional access or Azure AD conditional access policies, there is a very favorite uh, option or feature over there, and that is what if analysis, right? What if we deploy this particular policy to the devices, what will be the end user experience, how the users experience will be, and how we can adjust it. So this is going to be there for Intune as well, using the Security Copilot. Okay, and we will see a lot of troubleshooting enhancements coming up with Security Copilot. Okay, so that is the second pillar. And the third pillar is automation of policy creation. So you can ask Security Copilot a question in natural language, and the Copilot is going to process that and create a security policy for you. If you asking it to create a policy. Okay, so that we will see that as well in the demo session. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. In the slide, you can see on the right side, you can see the Security Copilot over here, right? So Security Copilot, you can see the create, it is asking, the admin is asking for creating a policy. Create a policy that blocks user from using any remote storage devices on Windows 11. And what Security Copilot is going to do is, it is it is giving the steps. Okay, these are the things, these are the settings I have taken. So say go to settings and administrative templates, and then selected this option and selected this as enabled, and here it is giving an option to create a policy. There's a button over here. If you click on this button, so that is going to create a policy for you automatically. You don't need to go through the console or Intune portal and go through that settings, administrative templates, etc. You just need to click on the create policy button, and that is the amazing work Copilot is going to do, going to help or enhance the experience of admins. Okay, so that is policy generator. And then on the left side, you would be able, on the right side, you would be able to see another thing, another prompt. So admin is asking over here in this prompt, summarize this particular policy. Okay, so what it is doing, Copilot is doing, it is giving you an overview of this policy. Policy is designed to block use of any removable storage devices such as USB or pen drive, etc., etc. Right, and it analyzes that and it shows, oh, there's a conflict. Conflict is the biggest headache in Intune, I would say. Okay, so it is giving you a prompt, advanced prompt, that, oh, if you deploy this policy, there is a chance of conflict because you have already deployed a policy with the similar settings or with opposite settings, right? Over here, you can see it is disabling, and over here we are enabling it. So that is why it shows it is conflict, it is going to create conflict. So that is very helpful, because otherwise we won't come to know, normal admin don't come to know whether there's a security policy implemented already which is having a directly opposite value. Okay, so conflict avoidance can be done using the security, with the help of Security Copilot in Intune. And over here, you would be able to see user impact, security impact, etc., etc. So this is all about what if analysis as well, right? So I think we are done with this particular slide, let's go to the another slide. So in this slide, what we are going to see is what are the troubleshooting enhancements that Microsoft is going to um, put into Security Copilot along with Intune. This is specifically for enhance the troubleshooting experience of Intune admins. Okay, so if you look at over here, first thing, if let's assume that you are getting a help desk call or ticket, and one particular device is having a problem, and then in that case you can do a lot of things with Security Copilot. One thing, there are a lot of options over here. There are a lot of prompt examples over here. You can use this, summarize the device over here. You can type in over here, or you can click on it. So see device health this week, and then list of application on the device, summarize the application deployment status, and this is important, right? So you always have this kind of errors in the security, I mean in Intune deployments, and you might not have any clue about this error. So this is very troublesome kind of experience for many admins. Then they need to do a search engine search, or Google search, or Bing search, right? To understand what does this error mean. So Security Copilot is going to help you in that also. If you prompt like this, what does the Intune error code mean, then Security Copilot is going to analyze it and understand the issue with that particular policy, and give some solutions, and give a meaningful explanation of that error. Okay, so that is what at least my expectation is, I would say. Okay, so, and over here on the right hand side, you can see, are there any settings blocking USB access for this particular device? So you are getting a ticket for a particular device, and user is saying, oh, my USB is not working, even though I have an exception for USB policies. Okay, so in that case, security policy can help Intune admin to quickly analyze that device and understand which is the policy deployed to that particular user. Why is that? Probably you need to exclude that particular user from this policy to resolve the issue and resolve the ticket. It is pretty quick, right? Otherwise, normally we should have to go to the policy and check which is the deployment, I mean which group it is deployed to, and whether the user is part of that group or not, etc., etc. So we can avoid all those things with Intune Security Copilot. Okay, now let's go to the next slide, and this is the demo part which I am going to cover. So over here, you can see there are exciting options over here. As you can see, in Intune console, in future, probably in February 2024, you are going to get this Copilot button. So what does that mean? You are going to get better experience as an admin, Intune admin. So it has some licensing requirements. So I'm not going to cover the licensing requirement. Most of you already know you need Intune suite, etc., for some of the features, and for Security Copilot you need some other licensing details as well. I'm not very familiar with all these licensing things. It is very complex for me. So we'll see that. Okay, so now what is going to happen is, if admin clicks on that Copilot drop down option, it is going to give you three options: explore this device, compare this device, and ask about errors. Okay, so if you click on compare the device, what is going to happen is a prompt is coming over here. As you can see, prompt is going to come over here and it is comparing a device. So how to compare a device? Compare this device, and you need to provide a device name over here. So before going there, first let's check where are we. So we are analyzing a particular device. We are checking this particular device because we got an incident. Let's assume like that. So we are analyzing this device. We are in the overview page of the device, and we are clicking on Copilot and selecting compare the device. Now, in the prompt, you need to provide the there would be a device which is working perfectly fine. So you need to compare the working device with non-working device so that we can easily understand what is the problem with this particular non-working device. Okay, so that is what we are going to see over here. In this prompt, you are going to get that details. You are going to put you are going to type in that details, which is the device which you want to cover or compare, and what would be the comparison results, etc., right? So it is going to compare the device, as you can see over here. Compare the device configuration with desktop L5F3 CDV. This is a different device, and this is a different device. This is a non-working device, and this is the working device. Now, Copilot is generating answers. Comparison is going on. It is working on the comparison, and it is going to provide some results pretty soon. Okay, so it is all instant comparison and instant results. As you can see, the comparison results are here. This is important. At the moment, it is pretty new, so AI generated content can have some errors. So over the time, it is going to become more accurate. So initially, you might see some errors in the answers generated by AI. So you need to analyze it, how it is and what it is exactly, whether it is correct or not. Okay. So unique policies. So it is comparing both the devices, working device and non-working device. Unique policies it is comparing, and then it is doing all the other comparison also, deploy application deployment and all the other things. It is common policies. It is going to analyze what are the common policies deployed to both the devices, and what is the additional policy deployed to non-working device maybe, right? All those things you are going to get over here in this comparison. Okay, and this is going to be very helpful. Normally we used to do this comparison side by side. It is very tedious process from my perspective. It is not very easy to compare the devices like that. Okay, so that is something we are getting rid of with this. Now I'm trying to move the slide. I don't know whether, yeah, okay. So this is another demo which I'm going to give you. So over here in this demo, Security Copilot is going to help us with creating a KQL query. KQL query, So KQL query is Custo query. I don't know how to pronounce it properly, to be honest with you. I think it is Custo query or something, right? So it is the query language which we use for all the cloud related, Azure related solutions, I would say, for Azure Virtual Desktop, etc., for patching, etc. We use this query in log analytics as well. Okay, so query language in log analytics as well. So this is very interesting. Over here, let's understand this. Again, this is a desktop device. Okay, and in desktop device, where is the option over here to go to device query? Okay, there's an option to go to device query over here, and if you click on that, you will have a device query. This is kind of a real time data fetching which is happening from the devices. So it is probably using Win32 or IME, basically Intune management extension, to fetch this data real time, right? It is similar to CM pivot in SCM. If you remember what is CM pivot in SCM, it is doing the same thing, right? In Intune, it is called Intune pivot. So this is similar to that actually, device query. So normally KQL queries are not very easy for Intune admins if you are a pure Intune admin, but there are experts in KQL query language. But over here, Copilot is going to help us. So let's see that. Okay. let's run that demo. And as you can see, there's a prompt over here, and it says, show me information about Visual Studio Code app installed on this particular device. So we are in this property of this device, okay, over here, and we are clicking on Copilot, and then we are prompting the Copilot to create a query for us. Okay, so let's see how that goes. So it is pretty easy, right? So it has created a KQL query for you. Copilot created a KQL query for you, and you can click on add and run button over here, and that will quickly run the KQL query in this particular box, and that will show you the results over here. Okay. See, it is running the query, and the results are here. So as you can see, this is the version number, this is the location, all these details you can get it over here without writing a KQL query manually. So that is the another advantage of Copilot, and this is the early stages of Copilot, right? As I mentioned before. Now let's go to another security perspective, what Intune is doing, what Intune is coming up with, and how enhanced experience Intune is giving to enhance the security of enterprises and reduce the workload of Intune admins. Let me drink a. How are we doing with time? Okay, we have very less time. Okay. Um, So this is enterprise application management, third-party app updates. So what is enterprise application management? So it is a fancy name. Microsoft is going to create, or it is going to come out in February 2024, this feature, and Microsoft is going to create a separate catalog of applications which are non-Microsoft application, third-party application. Okay, so non-Microsoft application, and they are going to pre-package those applications as per your security requirements, as per your organization packaging. I mean, not organization packaging standards, but the standard, the global standard or industry standard packaging. Packaging standards, I would say. Okay, so they are going to go through the process, the industry standard process of pre-packaging all the applications, and going to present you with that application in Intune console. So you don't need to go through, I mean, the tedious process of downloading the application MSI or EXE and converting into MSI exec, not MSI exec, Intune Win format, right? For Intune Win32 application deployment. It is all readily available. It will be already readily available for you, similar to Microsoft Store based application. This is not Microsoft Store. This is a different catalog altogether. We will see that in the demo later. And you are going to get the update control also. And in the future versions of this, exciting things are going to come. But version which is going to release in February 2024 is going to be very useful. Okay, so let's go to the demo and see how this works. So this is the normal process of creating an application, right? So Win32, I mean Intune Win application creation process, it is going through now. So that is Win32 application app deployment in Intune, and that is a very not very easy process, or experience is not very good, right? Because you need to go through command line and then convert MSI exe to Intune Win format and then upload to Intune, etc., etc. Okay, that is the process we can see over here. Okay, so it is kind of creating package and command lines, and then you need to upload the package into Intune. After doing all these things, now it got created, and then it will go to Intune and do a lot of stuff. Now we are going to Intune Windows apps, and then you can see something new over here. See, Windows Catalog app Win32. This is the new catalog by Microsoft with pre-packaged applications, third-party applications such as WinRAR, or I don't know, Java, if still people are using Java, or Adobe, right, etc., etc. All those Chrome, or all those applications, third-party applications. Okay, so you need to select this particular thing, and then you can see over here. Give me a sec. You can see over here. There's a search option similar to Microsoft Store application. So this is not Microsoft Store, but this is third-party application store um, with pre-packaged applications. Okay, so you can see Cisco, Git, and Microsoft PowerShell Core, Notepad++, right? WinRAR. Let's see how WinRAR. If you click on WinRAR, what it will be. So within WinRAR, you can see a lot of options such as different versions, different system types, different languages. All these are available for one particular WinRAR application. So variations. So this is the pre-packaging efforts that Microsoft is putting to enhance the experience of admins. Okay. So if you select one of them, English, US, and then say, click on select, all these things are already populated. Metadata is already populated. You don't need to do anything. You don't need to put install command line. You don't need to put uninstall command line. But if you want, you can change it probably, right? And all those details are automatically populated for you. So that is the very interesting scenario of third party application catalog. As you can see over here, update for Windows 32 catalog application. So this is another workflow. So deploying third-party application is that what we have seen. Now, if you already have deployed the application, third-party application such as WinRAR, if WinRAR released a vulnerability fix or new updates, then you need to fix it immediately from a security perspective, right? How you can do that? Normally, we need to again go through the packaging process and upload it, etc., etc. Or you can use some other third-party solution for um, application, third-party application patching, etc. Now, with this particular solution, what Microsoft is going to provide, if you click on this 3 button, there is option to update. So it is going to if you click on update button over here, update app button over here, that is going to help you with all the update scenarios. So it is going to help you to provide all these metadata. Metadata is already there, and you can see all these things are already populated by default. And there's an interesting option over here. If you want, you can uninstall the previous version and install the new version. Okay. So, and the interesting point over here is there's no deployment mentioned over here. That is not there in this workflow. You need to manually go to the update application, which is going to get created now, and then deployed. That is mainly probably for the safety reasons, I would say. Okay, now the saving application is getting saved, etc. Okay, now let's go to, where is it? Okay, this is done. Now let's go to this one. Okay, now the third portion of this session. Microsoft is also coming up with cloud PKI solution along with Intune. In Intune portal, you would be able to see cloud PKI services. It is also a SaaS service provided by Microsoft on top of Intune. So the PKI infra on-prem infra is very tedious to manage, very very time consuming, very complex, and that is why Microsoft is coming up with a cloud PKI solution where you can deploy all these SCEP certificates, etc., etc., without using any end servers. So you can eliminate, once Microsoft releases this version in February 2024, you would be able to remove your lot of your infrastructure, maybe Ender servers, and then connectors, Azure AD app proxy connectors, etc., etc., and use this particular service as you can see over here. Okay, and you can remove the customer PKI or infrastructure over here. So you can use these SCEP certificates for lot of scenarios actually, for your Wi-Fi, for your VPN, and some other applications, etc. We'll see that in the demo later, a bit later. Okay, now let's go to the next slide if I can. Okay, so this is the extract of what does the cloud PKI solution, Intune cloud PKI solution, um, overview, features, and version 1. All these are version 1 features. So there are a lot of exciting new features coming in the later versions of cloud PKI. As you can see, cloud the certificate revocation options are there, monitoring options are there, and then you can create root CA, issuing CA certificates from this cloud PKI in Intune, and that is going to be very helpful. Normally, to set up an Intune, I mean the infra PKI infra servers infrastructure on-prem, it is going to take months, right? Probably you might need to order servers, and then configuration itself is going to take maybe 2 weeks, etc., etc., because it is so complex. But creating root CA, issuing CA in Intune Cloud PKI is going to take maybe 5 minutes. Okay, so that is what we are going to see in the next slide. So this is the slide where you can see over here we are in tenant admin part of Intune portal. Okay, so we are in tenant admin part of Intune portal. That is where the cloud PKI workflow will be. Okay, and over here, if you can search for cloud PKI somewhere here, let's see that. Okay, managed PKI is the name at the moment, but it is going to change to cloud PKI soon. Okay, now I think this is also going to get released in February 2024 next year. So we are in cloud PKI page, and you can see a create button over there. And if you click on create, you can see the basic workflow options, name and description of that certificate authority, and then you can see it is creating a issuing CA. CA type, you have two options in the drop down. Okay, and root CA, issuing CA. We have already created a root CA, so that we are going to create a issuing CA now. Issuing CA, and then you need to have a connection, right? Of course, for issuing CA, you need to have a root CA. So that is why you are selecting a root CA over here. Okay, it is pretty easy, and if you have seen the on-prem PKI console, MMC console, etc., it is very tedious process, huh? At least for me. But this is very helpful. Over here, the validity period is also mandatory thing, and if you have set 10 years for root CA as a validity, then for issuing CA, it is best option is to give 5 years as the lifetime or validity period. Okay, so 5 years we have selected, and then you need to enter all these metadata like common name, organization name, etc. And the encryption is very important over here. You have encryption drop down options available here down. Okay, we can see that in a minute. And we have selected the encryption option, as you can see over here, RSA 4096. That is what we have selected, and then creating a policy. It is very quick, as you can see. So root CA is already there, and the issuing CA certificate is creating, and we are already in issuing CA certificate settings option. And over here, you can see a SCEP URI over here. As you can see, SCEP URI. So this is the important setting which you need for configuring the skep profiles in Intune. If you want to deploy skep profiles for your Wi-Fi profile, VPN, etc., this is what we need. Okay, so we are copying that skep URI and we are going to edit the existing skep profile over here and change the skep URI. That is the process which we need to follow from when we implement a cloud PKI solution. As you can see, skep server URL, that is what we are going to provide over here. We copied from that cloud PKI issuing CA certificate properties, and then we are copying it over here. Okay, so that is very interesting and very, very easy. Normally, it is very difficult to create a skep profile, and we need to coordinate with a lot of people from the PKI team, and PKI team must be busy normally, and they won't respond as to Intune admins, etc., etc. So there are a lot of political issues as well over there. But with this cloud PKI, Intune team is having more power, I would say. Okay, so that is very, very close to my heart as well. Okay, so now Wi-Fi is created and then manage PKI. If you can go to root CA and then you can see revocation options are there. Certificate revocation options are there. If you click on that, expiration, you can check over here when is going to expire, and a key size and algorithm, all these things are there. And revoke option is there if you want to revoke some certificate, etc. So all these are within the Intune portal. That is very exciting. Okay. Okay, so I think we are at the end of the presentation. I think we are on time. Thank you all, and thank our sponsors for sponsoring this wonderful event. Do we have any questions?
Thank you, Anup. Thanks a lot for your wonderful presentation, and